Good evening and many thanks for joining us. I'm Ansmane Sonyasi and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. Here are the main news headlines. Ahead of Saturday's mayoral and chairmanship elections, the Deputy Police PRO and the IEC Communications Director called on voters to be law-abiding and maintain peace. Gambia participants briefed the media on observations made by their personnel in all 53 constituencies in the build-up to and during the nomination period for the mayoral and chairmanship elections. Also, the Elections Watch Committee, the Gambia, held a press conference on Friday about their pre-election observations for Saturday's local government elections. The Gambia Armed Forces have issued a press release clarifying an incident on Wednesday in Sanyang village ahead of a meeting that was to be addressed by President Barrow. And a boat carrying 20 suspected migrants believed to be bound for the Canary Islands has been intercepted in a joint security operation between Gambian and Spanish agencies. Those are our main headlines. Now we take a look at the news in detail. Now, ahead of Saturday's mayoral and chairmanship elections, the Deputy PRO of the Gambia Police Force and the IEC Communications Director called on voters to be law-abiding and maintain peace. More in this report. As Gambians prepare for this year's final electoral cycle, two important stakeholders, the police and the IEC, are sending reminders of the importance of maintaining law and order during and after the elections. Parmakan Khan, IEC Communications Director, urges members of the public to abide by electoral laws and avoid wearing party insignia or openly showing support for a particular candidate on election day, especially at polling stations.
Of course, it's important that let them remember that they have to vote where they were registered. So just remember which place you are registered, and it's the same place that you are going to vote. So it's very important. And also, when coming out to vote, people should also remember that they should not go to the polling station with party political materials like T-shirts of political parties, caps, scarves, and the like. Let them go and vote in their normal, usual dresses and attire, and then once they cast their vote, we encourage them to go back to their houses or go about doing their normal businesses.
Parmakan Khan reiterates the IEC's preparedness to conduct free, fair and transparent election, adding that they have been working closely with stakeholders such as the police, political parties and civil society to ensure peaceful elections.
We also would be having other people at the polling station. This would include people from the political parties, because every political party or every candidate contesting in this election is provided is to send two polling agents at every polling station.
ASP Mohamed Dabo, the Deputy PRO of the Gambia Police Force, says the police is prepared to provide security and has already deployed its personnel in preparation for Saturday's event.
The Gambia Police Force is highly prepared for the incoming elections. We have already deployed our men across the length and breadth of this country and they will be in all polling stations alongside other security services, specifically the Gambia Immigration Department, Fire and Rescue Service, the Gambia Armed Forces, the SIS, and all relevant security services in the country to make sure that we provide security and we coordinate the election process.
As he reaffirms their commitment to maintaining law and order during the elections, Deputy PRO Dabo says the police have been doing an admirable job in ensuring peaceful elections.
What we ask from the public is to help our officers in executing their function and responsibility. They are there to support and they are there to coordinate. And they are very much briefed to make sure while coordinating and while executing their function, they execute it professionally and ethically. And like all the previous elections, we have stood exceptionally well, and we have performed very much well in our duties. One of the things that stand out is the reports of even external observers.
29 candidates, including party and independent candidates, are set to contest Saturday's mayoral and chairmanship elections. There are 962,157 voters eligible to vote at 1,554 polling stations across the country. Ansmane Soinyasi for QTV News. Gambia participates briefed the media on observation made by their personnel in all 53 constituencies in the build-up to and during the nomination period for the mayoral and chairmanship elections. Here is more in these excerpts.
General environment system, citizen participation, security, that's the heading. 100%, that is all of Gambia participates observers noted that the general environment was calm and orderly.
Of state resources or abuse of influence. Gambia participates observers witnessed or heard of instances of non-elected government officials, that is civil servants, and or government employees using their influence to support or campaign for a particular party or candidate.
As the Gambia's largest non-partisan independent movement of citizen observers, Gambia will be providing systematic, accurate, and timely information on the election day process. While IEC has expressed confidence in the state of its preparedness, Gambia participates urges the Commission not to overestimate its capacity nor underestimate potential challenges that could undermine the election.
On a similar endeavor, Elections Watch Committee, the Gambia held a press conference on Friday to share their pre-election observations on Saturday's mayoral and chairmanship's local government elections. Here's the excerpt.
For the mayor and chairperson campaign observation, the Elections Watch Committee has trained and deployed 14 long-term observers, that is, observers in each administrative region to observe the conduct of the campaign process within the Gambia. During the campaign period, political parties were out in force holding campaign activities across the country. EWC's observers in all regions reported either witnessing or hearing of campaign events or rallies in their assigned regions. Observers' reports mostly showed that the parties and candidates were freely conducting their campaigns with no restrictions. As the campaign period advanced towards election day, all EWC observers witnessed or heard about IEC's preparation in their regions. EWC observers have previously reported that they have not witnessed or heard of IEC's preparations. However, it is to be noted that during the 2023 councillor and mayoral campaign, there has been an improvement in this matter. This level of communication information sharing by the IEC is consistent with the past elections and should be commended. The majority of Election Watch observers have noted that they have witnessed national security forces during campaign events and rallies of political candidates. EWC did not receive reports of any case of intimidation or abuse by security agents during the campaign period. The Elections Watch Committee makes the following recommendations to election stakeholders ahead of and during the immediate period of the elections. Political parties, candidates, and their supporters should adhere to the IEC's mandated cooling-off period and refrain from all campaign activities on Friday, 19th May. The media and any other group should avoid publicizing unofficial results, and candidates should refrain from declaring victory until the IEC releases the final results. Political parties, candidates, and their supporters should continue to adhere to the IEC regulations and code of conduct during and after the May 2023 local government mayoral and chairperson elections, and follow the prescribed legal channels to pursue any objections or grievances in a peaceful manner.
And that excerpt there on the EWC's pre-elections observation will lead us to the commercial break, but we will be right back.
dañuy wecc xar xanam dafa wara wuté ak li nga daan gis daxin pire puy paj lay doon QTV do ay fodé Tabaski style 2023 bi da fay todde xolal ma model si ak ni ñu koy tempé ñew kat yi gëna xarañ ci réew mi lañu andal ñu fasiyeni indi ay style yu ngeen mësul gis ren ji lepp day wuté li tax moy Cheikh Fall day ñew dal di tangal bërepp bi wa groupe Daara Lamp Fall yéena gëna xam Cheikh Fall ci ambiance way ku ci top borom bam kan lan la xanaa attaque waa lii kañ la xanaa ondi neen cuul fële ca Q City juróom-ñaari waxtu lay tàmbali jëm ca kaw waaye di leen fàttalil ticket yi mun ngeen koo amee ci bépp QCell customer care Kairaba Avenue turntable Bruce bi ticket $400 VIP $700 mun ngeen a call ci number bi 344 2023 bi dafa nar a ca kes de ñëwkat yi dañoo ñëw pire modèle si dañoo modèle pire QTV day jommale QTV 2023 du yomba de sponsored by Nido.
Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
Welcome back, and be reminded you're watching QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. Now, the Gambia Armed Forces have issued a press release clarifying an incident on Wednesday in Sanyang village ahead of a meeting that was to be addressed by President Adama Barrow. Here's the full text of that press release.
The Gambia Armed Forces High Command wishes to express its appreciation to the general public for the comments and observations made following its clarification on the images and videos that were trending on social media on Thursday, the 18th of May 2023, depicting individuals in military uniform lowering a banner. It might be important to remind this audience that the banner contained a commercial advertisement for a wrestling competition in which Mayor Talib Ahmed Bensouda of the United Democratic Party is flanked by two wrestlers. Our investigations have revealed that the banner was hung very low and dangling across the streets in Sanyang Village, Combo South District, West Coast Region, where His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Mr. Adama Barrow, was scheduled to hold a meeting on Wednesday, the 17th of May 2023. The officer commanding the advance team of the Presidential Guards, whose job, amongst other things, includes to ensure the safe and unhindered passage of the President and his convoy, observed that the said banner was obscuring the view of the drivers and therefore posed a safety risk. It should be emphasized that the banner was so low that some of the heavy vehicles carrying the tower lights and generators accompanying the presidential convoy could not pass through. In view of this, the officer acted swiftly and in good faith, given the prevailing circumstances at the arrival of the president was also imminent. Accordingly, he instructed some soldiers to untie one side of the banner and place it on the side of the road to allow free, safe and secure passage of the convoy. It is evident that it was at this moment that photos and videos of the soldiers were taken by a passerby while they, the soldiers, were setting the banner aside. This assertion was also corroborated by eyewitnesses who were contacted on the ground during the investigation process. The Gambia Armed Forces High Command wishes to reiterate that the removal of the banner, which could have been any other banner, was purely for safety and security reasons. We wish to also state categorically that the GAF has no intention whatsoever to send any of its soldiers to bring down any political banner or paraphernalia in any part of the Gambia, as has been erroneously reported by some local and international media platforms. It might be instructive to assert that the GAF has an open-door policy to the media, as its Directorate of Press and Public Relations has always been forthcoming when it comes to information sharing with the media for the exclusive purpose to bridge the communication gap between the military and the civil populace. Accordingly, the GAF would like to seize this opportunity once again to encourage the media, both online and offline, at home and abroad, to always get in touch with its Directorate of Press and Public Relations when faced with similar situations in the future. The GAF High Command wishes to further reaffirm its commitment to the principle of neutrality and apolitical posture at all times in the dispensation of its constitutional mandate. Finally, we hope that this clarification will be helpful in putting to sleep the issue of the banner. We regret any inconvenience the unfortunate incident may have caused. That is the end of this press release.
Now, a boat carrying 20 suspected migrants believed to be bound for the Canary Islands has been intercepted during a joint operation by the Immigration Department, Gambia Navy, Spanish Police and other sister security services. Alusise reports.
The interception is because of an operation jointly conducted by the Immigration Department and partners and marks the latest such intervention amid a surge in attempts by irregular migrants to reach Europe. Chief Superintendent Mamading S. Diba, Public Relations Officer of the Gambia Immigration Department, revealed that an intelligence report they received led to the operation.
As part of this activity, we conducted patrols at sea around the vicinity of Jinak and other places in the North Bank region. During these patrols, in the early hours of 19th of May 2023, our operatives were able to detect and intercept a migrant boat that was setting out for a journey to the Canary Islands. Upon intercepting this migrant boat, we have found 20 people, 18 of whom are Senegalese, and 2 of them are actually Gambians.
According to PRO Diba, over logistics and equipment were discovered, including 2,000 liters of fuel, 60 horsepower onboard engine meant for the journey.
Apart from the 20 people that were intercepted, at the point of interception around Jinak, a lot more people, according to our intelligence, were littered along the coast in locations in the Gambia and Senegal that were meant to be picked up, along the journey to the Canary Islands. One thing that shocked us about this whole activity is that the boat that we have, intercepted is a boat that is in a very bad condition.
Describing the boat as being in a very bad condition, PRO Diba is of the conviction that the boat, even if it had been intercepted, will not have made it to the Canary Islands, some 1,079 nautical miles away. Major Chow, head of the COP Gambia project, which is being implemented by the Spanish police towards ending the smuggling of migrants and trafficking in persons, and Commissioner for the Gassama of the Migration Management Unit, respectively, welcome the interceptions and hope this will be a message to other intending irregular migrants.
I would like to thank everybody, especially the GID and the Director General of the GID and the head of the MMU unit, because of the collaboration in the project is fantastic. Thanks of them and thanks of God, it was possible to finish this big operation, that it was coordinated with the rest of the stakeholders.
The interception here for us is very significant because we just discovered that these people were practically sacrificing the lives of these people because the boat that we have intercepted that was about to ferry them is not in a very good condition.
The authorities urge parents and young people to rethink critically about taking such deadly journeys. They expressed their determination to continue gathering intelligence and conducting regular operations at sea. They called for support of communities and the public to curtail the menace, thereby saving lives. Reporting for QTV News, I am Alu Sise.
Now, the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, in collaboration with the World Bank, held a day-long forum on Wednesday on data governance in the Gambia. Muriga Chaka reports.
Several stakeholders across different ministries, departments and private sector gathered to discuss on data use, management and its security, leveraging data to foster development and its importance on the West and Central Africa regions. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Usman Ba, described data as an important commodity.
Data is a powerful tool that provides insight, reveal trends, and measures progress. It empowers us to understand the complex challenges, identify gaps, and design a target solution. Data enable us to monitor and evaluate the impact of intervention and to hold ourselves accountable for the outcome we achieve.
Keiko Miwa, the World Bank Country Director, gave details of the World Bank Data Report 2021, including challenges of data access, usage, and protection, focusing on the West and Central Africa regions.
Today's workshop is our effort to raise awareness of the key messages from this report at the country level and to promote the dialogue with the national policy makers and also the stakeholders like you on the data ecosystem. And as we all experience on a daily basis, there has been a remarkable growth in the rate of data generated across the globe, and this was significantly accelerated by the rapid migration to digital platforms, and which was a result of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Several other speakers stressed how data can be used for good and harm, and the need to improve data infrastructure and its security. Panel discussions on establishing foundations for data economy and fostering trustworthy and inclusive data economy were also held. After the event, officials of the World Bank visited project and intervention sites supported by the bank, which include the Science Lab of the Gambia College, Emergency Treatment Center under construction in Farato, and the OMVG project site in Brikama. Keiko Miwa, the World Bank country representative, gave her impression about the visits.
I went to visit the Gambia College, where they train the teachers, the future of the country. And now I'm here at the construction site for the new medical emergency complex, which also has a medical waste center. Investing in human capital in education and health is probably one of the best investment that the World Bank can make and that any country can make.
At the Emergency Treatment Center being constructed in Farato, the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmadulamin Samate, explained the progress of the project.
As you can see, this is very impressive. This is going to be a state-of-the-art emergency treatment center for the people of this country. We're able to do this with the support from the World Bank. So this is a phenomenal project and a lot of progress for the people of this country. Well, it's gone very far. I wouldn't be able to say it in percentage terms. The technicians can help. But timeline-wise, you realize that we've expanded the scope of the project, and we are being told the current buildings will be completed, inshallah, in December, and the entire project in February next year.
The visits concluded the day's activities. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
The German liaison office officially became the first German embassy in Banjul on Wednesday and will initially provide a limited range of consular services. Lena Ibenyiba was there and she filed this report.
The Embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany, Banjul, is the first embassy that Germany has opened in any country in over a decade, as the liaison office Banjul becomes an embassy. The unveiling of the embassy signboard signifies a permanent German diplomatic presence in Banjul. This is expected to further deepen the friendly relations between the two countries and strengthen bilateral cooperation. Katia Kohl, the Minister of State in the German Federal Foreign Office, is delighted to open the first German embassy in the Gambia.
It is about the Gambia and Germany and about how our two countries interact in an international environment. Our embassy will ensure that we get to know the Gambian perspective, your interests and concerns. It is there for interaction. It is there for creating opportunity and fostering engagement.
The broad intergovernmental cooperation aims to support the Gambia security sector reform, improve the energy supply, strengthen the health sector, also create prospects for the people in the Gambia. Mamadou Tangara is the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
We are undoubtedly hopeful that the just established German embassy in the Gambia will further facilitate close consultations and engagements at the highest levels of the bilateral relations between our two governments. The imminent opening of the Gambia's embassy in Berlin will be the icing of our bilateral cake that will usher in a new page and high levels of partnership, cooperation and collaboration between our two countries and peoples for mutual benefit.
Ms. Kohl reaffirms Germany's commitment to strengthening the Berlin-Banjul relationship.
We recognize that the Gambia has repositioned itself as a young democracy in recent years, and the progress your country has made is very impressive. We are committed to intensifying our cooperation politically, economically, and culturally. That's what embassies are for.
Initially, the new embassy will offer a limited range of consular services. Most other consular services and visa issuance will continue to be undertaken by the German embassy in Dakar, which will also assist the Banjul office administratively. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Gwenyiba.
And before we end this bulletin, here's a recap from main headlines. Ahead of Saturday's mayoral and the chairmanship elections, Deputy Police PRO and the IEC Communications Director called on voters to be law-abiding and maintain peace. Gambia participants briefed the media on observations made by their personnel in all 53 constituencies in the build-up to and during the nomination period for the mayoral and chairmanship elections. Also, Elections Watch Committee, the Gambia held a press conference on Friday about their pre-election observations for Saturday's local government elections. The Gambia Armed Forces have issued a press release clarifying an incident on Wednesday in Sanyang village ahead of a meeting that was to be addressed by President Barrow. And a boat carrying 20 suspected migrants believed to be bound for the Canary Islands has been intercepted in a joint security operation between the Gambian and the Spanish agencies. Well, that's all for this edition of the news. Do join us tomorrow as we bring you live coverage of the chairmanship and mayoral elections. Until then, thanks for watching.